Big, pretty smile. Okay, I believe we're live. I'm going to double check in a moment. Takes a moment sometimes to queue up. We're going to give it a second. Do, 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 do. And let me see here. It says 16 seconds. Let's just see if it's live. Boom, boom. How are you doing today, by the way?
I'm fantastic and phenomenal.
Well, that's always good to know as we are officially live, I believe, in this very moment, which is really cool. So, for those folks that are out there, welcome back to the Speak and Sell Challenge, where we're on a mission. And I was having a conversation, and Dr. Cheryl Wood and I were talking, and she's like, one of the areas that entrepreneurs struggle with the most is out there is how do they get booked if they want to speak or if they want to be at an event, and then how do they get paid? Like seriously, they're already speaking for free, they're giving of their services, they're giving of their time, but there's a population of folks out there, Shay, and one of the challenges they have is inside of them they've got this gift. Inside of them they've got this message. They've been blessed with this talent and this DNA, and that talent is not for them, but it's for other folks. And really, Shay, how do they get out there and get the message to other folks? And in that conversation, I said, well, I don't know. Where would you go to learn how to speak the way you are taught to speak, have the impact the way you were? And then at the same time, how could you not only serve, but be paid? And she said, hey, speak and sell. I said, well, we could do something like that. And so that's the journey that we're on, not only for you to get booked and paid to speak, but for you to coach and work with the folks and the tribe that you were called to work with. And that's very, very important because that's what shifts life. So with that being said, Dr. Wood, they're here to speak and serve challenge. Let me just toss it over to you and ask a quick question as folks are logging on now, which I think is important, is that if you had just took your business, and this is a question for you, and just said, I'm going to just speak on stages. And I'm going to get paid very, very well. And I can make seven figures at doing that, which you very much could. Why would you slow down and get involved in other stuff that is not really speaking on the stages, but it still generates you money? So the question I have for you, and you listening out there as well, is where would you be, Dr. Wood, if you never, ever did anything other than speaking on stage and getting paid? How does it change your life?
I'd probably be stuck in a really bad financial space. Number one, because I don't think that any of us should ever put all of our eggs in one basket, right? Because if that basket breaks and you had all the eggs in that one basket, those eggs have cracked and now that's gone. Now your one stream of revenue is gone, and you're in a state of desperation as an entrepreneur, and that's the worst state to be in, a state of desperation, because it's not good for you and your household and your financial obligations, but also because a state of desperation shines through to customers or prospects. And nobody wants to work with somebody who they're just praying that you say yes because you need their money. Like nobody wants to work with anybody like that. They want to feel like, you know what, I get to choose. I get to choose you. And it's not that I that you need me. It's that you choose to help me, choose to serve me, choose to support me. So none of us ever want to be in a state of desperation. So when we, just as business owners in general, and you add to that, speaking, when we really want to make the greatest amount of revenue and profits, when we really want to make the greatest level of impact and touch more lives, we diversify. We never only do one thing. And that's the other piece of it. We do talk about the money part of it because these last 2 days have kind of been more of our money days, but even the impact of it, like everybody doesn't receive information, doesn't consume information the same way. We'll talk about that a little bit and a little bit later, but that means you have to make sure that you are taking what you know and turning it into how-to content that people can consume and digest in a variety of ways, not just hearing you on a stage in a room at a training conference or whatever it might be. The event might be a big event. Some people are going to be able to consume your content in different ways. And so it's our job to meet people where they are. And a part of that is through the content that we dispense, because people learn differently. Number two, it's to meet people where they are as it relates to time commitment, because some people aren't able to come and be a part of one thing, but they can make space for the other thing. Also, there's preference. So some people prefer to be in a room and listen to you for 45 minutes. Other people prefer to be handheld along the journey so that you can teach them how to achieve what you just promised them from the stage. And that's perhaps through a longer or lengthier frame of time through perhaps some type of coaching program. So you have to keep that in mind. The time commitment. And then, of course, there's the financial commitment, and people have the opportunity and the options to commit financially at different levels. I'm tossing it back to you, Shay, until you tell me to just go with it.
That is hilarious. For those folks that are out there, it makes sense and sense. And Dr. Wood, today I'm going to get an opportunity to talk. Doing two things. I'm going to get an opportunity to talk a little bit about how to create a high ticket product. But I just want to, before I do that, I know there's multiple ways that folks can earn money on the other side, right? And
Yeah.
for those folks that are listening, there's two type of individuals that need to really lean in, if I could say that, lean in. And the first type of individual is someone out there that already has their whole product suite together. They're like rocking and rolling. They've got multiple levels and they can help them do it themselves or they can do it for them. And you just like, I just need the rocket fuel to get the deals closed faster, quicker. And I'm ready to make that happen, Shay. And if that's you, you pay very, very close attention. Then there's another group of you out there that are out there that like, honestly, I've created all this stuff and that's all I've done is created it. I mean, it's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's not a beat me up conversation, but you're at the point where it's like, I'm now ready to be able to serve the folks I was called to serve. And you might need some tweaking and some changing on the product. And that's going to be very important. So we'll talk about how to create a high ticket product. And then we'll talk about on the other side, how to really, really, really service it or sell it. I'll say that. But let me share the biggest mistake that I see that's happening right now for folks that are really selling high ticket products. And there's one big mistake. And before I do that, for those folks out there that already have an offer, you're like, Shay, mine's ready to go. Doesn't matter if it's a high ticket, doesn't matter if it's something that's you consider a low ticket, but you're ready to serve, you're ready to help. Do me a favor. Do me a favor if you're out there. Inside the comment feature, do me a favor. Just write the words born to serve. Just put hashtag born to serve. You were born to serve a group of folks, and you already have a way of doing that. Okay. Now, you may have a coaching program. You may have a program to help folks get back on track. You may have a program to help folks lose weight. You may have a program that helps folks improve their mental health. I want you to put that down there. Now, we're going to get into later the folks that told their stories. Don't worry that. But the biggest mistake that I see for folks that are trying to sell a high ticket product is two things. Number one is they think just having a high ticket product by default that they've got to sell that to someone, and they focus on everything the product does instead of the payoff or the result someone gets when they receive it. And so they think just because they're involved in it, well, I'm involved in it, so I'm not going to charge you 30 grand. That's cool. But they don't really focus on the results that the person gets. And so put this in your notes. If you have someone out there that's looking to pay, they're looking for the payoff that they get when they're in your program. That's number one. Number two biggest mistake I see, and I'll come back to you in a minute, Dr. Cheryl. The number two mistake, let me help you do. The number two mistake that I see that's out there that's really, really important is they don't make enough offers. Now, that might sound kind of crazy, but they really don't have a sales problem. Let me just tell you a quick story. About 10 years ago, I'm down in Tampa, Florida, and I'm there with a gentleman by the name of Myron Golden. And Myron Golden, I consider one of the all-time brilliant minds of sales. I mean, the guy is just totally brilliant. And we're at a table having a conversation. And while we're having a conversation at the table, he asked me a question. He says, Jay, how is your $60,000 offer going? Now, it's not about the money, so don't listen about the price point. Just listen to his question. How is your $60,000 offer going? I said, well, we have this $25,000 makeover. It was $25,000 at the time. And some of you may have been through that. You would come in for 3 days and we would do all this stuff for your business and all these hard deliverables. And I was really, really pleased because we were averaging about 4 to 6 sales a month at $25,000. So I proudly said, man, Lyra, you don't understand. This thing is moving. I mean, not bad for a couple of days work. He said, no, how's your $60,000 offer going? I said, well, I've never sold a $60,000 offer in my life. He says, well, if you don't have one, then you can't offer one. I said, okay, well, what do I need to do? How much stuff I need to put together? He says, no. What is the problem that is so huge right now that if you were to offer something at $60,000, the person could 10x that? They could earn $500,000 or more in their business as a result of the shift and change you're going to make. And you know what? That forever changed me, not because I wanted to charge a higher price, but because my thinking wasn't how can I build more value? How can I connect with other folks and collaborate? And I don't have to do all the work to put together something that was huge enough that could create a $600,000, $700,000 value to someone. And on the other side, although I may have expenses paying other people to do the work, I would do less work. So Shay, why do you tell that story? What does that really mean to me? Well, number one, you may not have a problem because you may not be making enough offers. That's the biggest mistake I have. Number two, the reason I tell you that is that if you're out there and you're like, well, I don't want to charge too much, Shay. If I charge a little less, I save the client money. Let me say this, and then Dr. Wood, I'm gonna come back over you in a moment because I want you to kind of talk about maybe different type of products or service, the way people can help them. But I want you to hear my heart, and I want you to hear this right now. If you're thinking that way, if you don't have a premium offer, whatever that premium offer is, that offers so much value, it shifts the other person's life, you're doing them a disservice because your best paying clients who believe that you're there to serve them need more. And as a result, do you know what you do? You're forcing your best customers to go spend their money with someone other than you. Let me say it again. When you don't have a premium value, that's an offer. I said, forget high ticket, premium value offer. When you don't have that, you're forcing your best customers to go spend money with someone else other than you. Oh, by the way, case in point, that's why Mercedes created the Maybach. They created the Maybach because they got tired of sending all their best customers to Bentley and Rolls-Royce. That's one of the reasons Toyota created the Lexus. They got tired of sending their best customers, hear me, to Mercedes and BMW. And so it's possible, it's not about the money, but you need to create something that will shift the person's life. Other than maybe it's you showing up, I'm not sure, but I want you to hear where that's from. So it's not about, oh, how do I get more money? Yeah, I'll get into all that. It's really about premium value. At the end of the day, you want to have a high ticket offer that has high value, that gets high results. If you're out there and you want your clients to get high results, in the comments section right now, just put high results. Just put high results. They are going to spend money for the payoff that's to them, not to you. Okay, this is not about you. It's the payoff they get. So with that being said, Dr. Woods, I just wanted to frame the conversation to understand why we offer a premium offer. If not, that's fine. Your customers are going to spend money somewhere else. Trust me on that. Think about Maybachs. I don't have a Maybach, by the way. I could afford one, but there is a G-Wagon out there that Mercedes has as well. My point to you, Dr. Wood, is take a moment and kind of share about the diversification and the type of products, okay? We'll get into the value ladder shortly, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry about that. I'm going to get into how to sell the sequence, and I'll get into a sales funnel type of sequence. But I want Dr. Wood to kind of break it down in a way that's easy, understandable, and you can digest it. Over to you, Dr. Wood.
Yeah, well, first of all, let me just say I love everything that you just dropped, all those amazing nuggets. And I think at the end of the day, it really does come down to your belief in the value that you deliver. And some of us don't have high level, high value premium offers because we're either unsure of the value that we actually deliver, or we don't believe in it enough yet. And that is connected to the results that you get people. So I want you to think about, what are the results that I'm able to get people? What are the outcomes that I'm pretty much able to guarantee if they follow my blueprint step by step? Now, you cannot guarantee somebody's level of results unless they actually follow the blueprint and they follow it at a level that you followed it at. So to a degree, you can only promise a certain measure, a certain level of results that are similar to your results. But at the end of the day, people are going to sign up for your high ticket, your low ticket, anything that they sign up for is because they want some result at the end of it. Just like when you go to the restaurant, you go to the high end restaurant because there is an expectation that you are going to get a higher level of something, that steak dinner that you love or whatever you eat at that place. You expect that there's going to be a higher level of delivery, not only in terms of the food product, it's going to be, they have the freshest fish, or they have the whatever the thing, the best cuts, the Wagyu steak, right? And the highest level of service. There is an expectation. So I want you to type in the chat expectation. And then I want you to think about that word. What is the expectation that I'm comfortable with people coming into when they're signing up for anything that I offer? Whether it's a high ticket, whether it's a low ticket, whether it's entry level, what is the expectation that I'm comfortable with them having? I know when people come into my space, there is an expectation that they can count on, because I know I'm going to over deliver. There's an expectation that I'm never going to just give you fluff. There's an expectation that we are going to make sure that all of your questions are answered. There's an expectation that everything is going to be done in excellence. There's an expectation that I'm going to honor everything that I say you're going to get, you're going to get. There's an expectation that you're not just going to get token service. You're not just going to get some stuff that you could have got on Google. You're going to get behind the scenes. There's an expectation that you're going to get authenticity and transparency about not only my successes, but also my failures, so that you can avoid those failures. Why? Because the reason that you're investing in a high ticket is because you want to avoid the things that I fell into. So I got to tell it all. So I know for 12 years that I've created an expectation, and now I have to live up to the expectation. But Shay will get back to that.
I love to live up to expectation part. And the reason I say that, Dr. Woods, and I'm going to pull this up in a minute, is that, the concept of making more offers. And if you're out there, you're thinking, Shay, there's a lot of reasons I haven't. I think it boils down to 4 main reasons why a number of folks don't really make offers. And this comes from me coaching, I don't know, thousands of entrepreneurs. This is not something I read in a book yesterday or saw on Instagram this morning. It comes from me helping dozens of folks one-on-one. And I've had, blessed to say, over 10 plus clients that have done $100,000 in just a day in revenue because they made an offer. In fact, just 2 weeks ago, a person on my team worked as a salesperson for someone who's doing a virtual event like this with less than 20 people there. And she made an offer for $10,000. And on the back end, someone on our team was able to close 5 deals, and that's 50 grand plus 2 smaller deals at $500. $52,000 in a weekend. It's not about the money. I just want to tell you what the person was prior to even having a bigger ticket offer in their mind. 10 grand is a bigger ticket offer. And I'm okay with, if you want to make a smaller one, you can make a lot of money with smaller ones. Okay. I used to have a $25 product. Dr. Wood, you might have remembered this. I used to have something called the Silver Partner Program. And it did really, really well. But there are 4 reasons why a number of folks struggle. Number 1, they don't know what type of offer to make. Matter of fact, let me pull this up. Maybe y'all can see this. They don't know what type of offer to make. Number 2, they don't know how to make the offer. So in some cases, based on the situation, the person is not sure which of their programs or services they should offer, right? I was on a call just yesterday after this ended, and I have someone who's going to be speaking on a stage, and I'm not going to say where, you might know where, and they're there, and they were like, of the list that I have on my sales wheel of services, which should I offer? So they don't know what type of offer to make. They don't know how to make the offer, some folks. And number 3, put this in your notes. They're afraid when they make the offer that somebody might say no. I guess they call it the fear of rejection, right? There's rejection therapy. And so I just want to slow down, and then I'll speed up. And I want to talk about 4 basic offers that you should have in your warehouse. If you're in the self-education industry, which right now this industry is to go to $1 billion a day, and you put yourself in a place where you could be home, you could be in the car, and with the power of this phone, you now can broadcast anywhere to any place at any time. And who would have thought that someone would have some TV show selling stuff out of garage that people are doing and all of a sudden make lots of money? Who knew that someone would teach someone how to play a piano by just listening to the tunes online? And now you've entered this space. And congratulations. I think more than any time in history, folks all over are more interested now than ever in the self-education, because they want to get from where they are to where they want to get to faster, with less speed. I mean, with more speed, with less effort. So there's 4 types of offers. Put these core offers down in your notes. And the first one is a lead generation offer. And that's an offer that most folks think, if I give something away for free, I've done something. And the reality is, when you have a lead generation offer, the free stuff that isn't your best stuff won't have people coming back. So that's just one type of offer, and most folks struggle with that. The second type of offer is your core product offer. Now, your core product offer, this is the product that you have that, in your mind, helps the majority of folks that are out there, right? I happen to drive a Toyota Prius. Don't judge me, by the way. It's a hybrid. I love my Toyota Prius, by the way. 2020 or 19, I can't remember which one. My wife drives a Ford Fusion, so we're not really big car type of folks, although we could drive other cars. But that car was built for someone like myself. It's in the city, does not go in many places, right? So that would be, I would call, one of their core products. And you think about, in your service, which one is the core product? Then there's the third product, which is really what we call a premium value product. And the premium value product, this is the product that when they come to, some of you know it in the industry as a done for you solution. Like, that was the old way. The old way was, I'm gonna do everything for you, so you got to pay me. Old way of doing it. The new way is, how can I get you the results you want the fastest, the quickest, with the least amount of effort, including my effort and your effort? And that's your premium value. That may be the top tier. And I normally like folks to understand what that is, right? And so now you have, someone put this down in your notes. First, you have a lead generation offer, number 1. Number 2, someone put this down in the group for me, please. You have a core product offer. There's 4. Number 3, you have a premium value offer. And that's what we're going to focus on now. It's not what they call a big ticket offer. And then number four, you have what's called a continuity offer. Now, a continuity offer is what's known in the industry as a membership-driven product. And I think this is very important. A membership-driven or a subscription-based means there's a reason why someone is writing a check, or you're building a credit card once a month, because you continue to be on the journey with them, not just get some videos behind a firewall, though that does work. But there's a monthly subscription that's involved. And that's so important today, because we know the concept has been said many times, but it's so true. One-time payments make you one-time rich. So even if you have a $10,000 product, you've got to go find the next $10,000 person to reservice them, versus when there's a continuity program. If you got, 10 people paying you $10,000, if one person decides they've got the results they want and decide to exit, you're only looking to bring one other person in, but next month that revenue comes in. And as you look at those 4 core products, I want you to think in your warehouse, for where you are, which of those 4 fits where you are right now. And if you're out there and you're listening, is it core product? You've got something, could be coaching. Is it the premium, or is it the continuity? And you need all 4, okay? But in the notes, just go ahead and put down one of them. If you need one's more important to you, put down that right now. Just put it in the notes, because this challenge is about you creating it for those that need to create it, and for others that needs to get it going. Now, I'm going to bring up something. If I'm going to try to do this, I'm going to bring up how to make a big ticket offer. Then I'm going to slow down, and then I'm going to do something called the value ladder. Russell Brunson made it famous. I think everybody's got the remix version. I'm part of the Puff Daddy generation. I got my AARP card. I've got my own remix version on that as well, by the way. And so let me go ahead and let me see. Okay, Shay, you figured this thing out. You can do this. Hold up. Wait a minute. That's not what I need. Maybe this is what I need here. Give me 1 second. I'm on the 1s and 2s. I'm always trying to get better. Okay. Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. Okay, here we go. I don't know if you can see it. I got to bring this thing down. But this is what we call a big ticket sales formula, right? Not the complete sales funnel. We get into that a little later in this week, but it is one of the processes that you can use. And for those that are texting born to be served to 202-270-1662, we're going to make sure we put the workbook together. We've made some changes and some shifts as we've gone about this. We'll get this stuff over to you. And Cheryl, all the Dr. Wood, all the notes she's been doing the last 2 days, that's all packaged and ready to go. So if you're out there and you're like, I want the note, Shay. I want the workbook, Shay. What's the cool stuff you guys are going to give? Text the word born to serve to 202-270-1662. Just put that down, please. Born to serve, 202-270-1662. And when you do that, include your first name for some of you so I know who you are, please. I'd love to know who you are. Yes, is the notes and the workbook that great? Yes, because the workbook has charts and stuff you can fill out. I think I'm going to show one now. And sometimes you want to get the notes a second or third time. And for some of you, this is train the trainer. And then there's a bonus gift. We're not going to talk about that. I think we're going to release that on day 4. I think it's day 4. No cost for that. Just go ahead and text right now, 202-270-1662. Born to serve. Include your first name, include your last name, include your best contact number and phone number and email, and we'll send it right to you. Now, even if you listen to the video of this and you're inside the Speak and Sell Academy and you're inside that vault over there, you can do it as well. Okay, just want to mention that. Now, this is something I'm going to bring up in just a second. Let me take this down. Let me take that down. And then I want to show you something, because I'm going to go over that in a moment. Just trying to make sure that I practiced before, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a time for this to freeze up. Come on, baby. Come on. At the end, because I'm going to go to Value Lab in a minute and some other cool stuff. At the end, then I am going to go over and walk you guys through our serve and sell blueprint. I know this thing has a thing on here. I can take the banner down in a minute. The banner. Let's see, how do you hide that? You can hide that. And I'm going to go through this. You'll get a copy of this. And this is for you or your sales team that has to actually sell the high ticket premium offer after they may have gone through a sales funnel. Does that make sense? And some of you are going to offer from the front of the room and all this other cool stuff. But I just want to let you know that's available. I got to remove myself, put myself in here. Let me see here. This is so fun. Well, not really fun, but it is fun. Okay, because I love serving. I love giving. Now, let's get down to the serious work here, why you're here. And for those that need to create their high ticket and their premium value offer, your premium value offer known as the high ticket, do me a favor in the comments, just put down, I will provide a high premium value offer to my clients. Just in the notes, just put down, I will provide a high value premium offer to my clients. I will provide a high premium value to my clients. Just put that down in the comments right now. And I know that I'm talking to you. Okay. This is important. Here we go. Okay. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is much better. Oh, I didn't know this did this. Okay, this is cool. Oh my gosh. Okay. Sorry, I'm geeking out over here. Now, okay. Take this down over here. Okay, I see. I promised to do my high ticket value. That's good. That's good. Remember, if you don't have one, they're going to go to someone else anyway. Okay. Banners down. Okay. I'm taking it down so you can see it. One of the things that Russell Brunson, and some of you may know Russell Brunson with ClickFunnels. If you're hearing it for the first time, you can just go Google ClickFunnels. Yes, I'm a ClickFunnels fanatic. Yes, I'm a funnel hacker. And he's revolutionized the way that in this online space that we do business. And it's created a big revenue stream for our company because for so long we was teaching folks how to do sales. And then along came this online piece that allowed us companies just to outsource their sales team to us. And when they would outsource their sales team to us, I'll tell you about a person. Her name is Yolanda. And when Yolanda came to us, she was already in 2 other coaching programs, and she had hired us to be her sales team. So she was outsourcing her sales department to our company, Easy Sales Hub. And our role was to help her sell her products and services. Now she had a challenge, right? Because she had created several different products and we had to find a focal point for her. And then we also had to create a funnel that brought folks in because she didn't have a list, different conversation. I tell you that story because I want you to focus. Can I come down for a moment? You can remove me. It's going to get bigger. Okay, here we go. Remove. One of the challenges Chris had is that Chris had a podcast, but it wasn't that good. And he wasn't interviewing other folks. So he had this podcast and he was giving his tip of the week and he was haphazardly doing it. And I mentioned to him, and this is not disrespect to anyone that's out there, just anyone's out there. I said, listen, you create some stuff that's not your best. And when someone's ready to work with you and they go out there and they Google you and they're on YouTube and they're looking at other stuff and it's not some of your best stuff or in the best light, not that it looks good, but the content is that relevant, then it's going to make it a little harder. And for those that already have a high ticket offer, by the time you have that conversation, someone may have been out to your YouTube channel or your Instagram channel, and they may have binge watched something and spent an hour or two, not researching you, but being indoctrinated by what you're doing. So if you do have a podcast, if you're doing a tip of the week, if you're doing the free videos, I know nobody's lazy. If you were lazy, you wouldn't be here. But I'm going to tell you, if you want to lead them up the ladder, you've got to provide value. One of the things that we believe in is the giver's economy. Put this down your notes, the giver's economy. And the giver's economy says the person that outgives the competition out-earns the competition. Let me say that again. The person that outgives the competition out-earns the competition. And so you do want to give. Some people say, don't give them too much. They can't do it all. Okay, it's just virtually impossible. That's number one. Number two, on your value ladder, and you go ahead and fill out the left-hand side. Like you draw a chart right now and you fill out the left-hand side. I'm gonna tell you what we did with Yolanda, although she had programs. We came back and we said, okay, after you have the tip of the week, what do you want to offer? Now, in this person's case, they had a book. And I don't know how many books you need to make $1 million a year, because the goal when folks at least outsource their company to us is, or sales to us is, we want to at least get to $1 million. Even if we fail, we've got to have a revenue stream. We got to have a way, our products or services, a way we add value to get to $1 million a year. Now I can do the math, but I'm not going to do that right now. And she, in this case, had a book. And I said, well, I would take the book and I would turn that into an online course. So give them the book for free. All right. But you go and you take the book and some of the highlights and contents and you create this little online course that you could pre-record and offer it to them. And even if you didn't use it through a membership platform, even if you use it something like Facebook in a private group in the video section, it offers more value. And so now we're able to get a little bit more. And then after the course, what's the next best step? Now, on here it says in-person workshops because that's what I'm still putting, but there are other ways you can do it. You can do virtual workshops. You can do virtual trainings. This is a virtual one we're doing right now. In person just has so much value. There's so much camaraderie that takes place. As you know, I don't need to get into power of events, but a price point that it could be higher, it could be lower. Don't get stuck in the prices you see here. Was $997. Now I'm gonna tell you how we helped this individual get to a little over $200,000. We're nowhere near $1 million right now, okay? But we're a lot further along than she was before she worked with us, and I'm really, really pleased. So now you have this in-person workshop, whether it's once a year, whether it's small or big, doesn't really matter. What will you offer after that you will charge? Now, I didn't put on here, I know for some of you, $997 is what you're offering for your online course. Got it. Some of you are offering it in this monthly program. Got it. This is not the end all, the be all, but it does lead to a point I'm going to make that I see as a problem when we get to the premium. So, what will you charge? Now, some folks have a mastermind plugged in at $10,000, where they bring folks in, they pay 10 grand, and they're there for a mastermind. Some folks have a mastermind that's broken up to many different parts. Doesn't really matter. Our goal is, how do we get to the premium offer? Because the premium offer that you have, that's the top here, doesn't matter the price point. It's really a combination of everything else that's brought together that is now customized for that individual. When you start getting to $25,000, some of you 10,000, some of you, a good starting point is really $5,000. You offer a $5,000 product, that's some really, really, really good value. Now that you've seen this, let's break down the benefits of creating a high ticket offer, and then let me walk you through the big ticket formula. Now, Shay, you might say, can you do the math for me? Can you break it down in a way that is easy to understand and easy to execute, which is what we're all about. Myself, there we go. Which is what we're all about here at Easy Sales Hub. It's all about easy to understand and easy to execute. Yeah, I'll do that. Number one, get out a piece of paper. I wonder if I can pull this up. I wonder if y'all can follow along if I did this. I feel like I'm a teacher today. I'm gonna open up a Word document, and let's just say you open up a Word document. I'm doing that now over here to see if I can pull this up with you guys that are there right now. No worries. Someone's texting me. I don't see her. Hold on, let me see. I think I lost you. I said, okay. Let me know when. Oh, okay. No worries, no worries. I'll bring you on, Dr. Wood. Let me do this. I'm going to pull up a Word document because we're going to go over the funnel and so forth. But I want you, if I can, to take a moment. I'll bring you up in just a second. I want you, if you can, pull this up. Oh, I feel like a producer over here today. There we go. I want to bring you on, Dr. Wood, if you could talk about the multiple ways, you're on camera now, the multiple ways that someone could have different type of products. I showed the value ladder just for a moment because I wanted them to just see visually that there's steps, right? Most people say, well, do it yourself, and then done with you, and then done for you. Yeah, that's the old way, and that does work. I'm not saying it doesn't, but in this online, for some of you, this space of now self-education that is just beyond just coaching, beyond someone just right next to you saying rah cheering you on, but folks that are adding value to folks. And I want you to put this in your notes. I'm coming to you right now, Dr. Cheryl, and this is me seeing it through a sales lens. Write down the words lifetime value. There's a lifetime value when folks are in any one of your products, but especially the premium product. What we're doing right now, some of you will take exactly what you've learned on here, and we'll see you a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, and you'll be applying this, and that money will come in over and over and over and over again. Lifetime value. Systems beat goals every single time. All right, Doctor, we'll take a moment to break down maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 different products that maybe you have or individuals could have that allows them to add on and diversify their portfolio. You mentioned it earlier. I think you want to talk about 2 or 3 specific ones.
Yeah, I mean, and let me just be very open and very transparent, because that's what my community knows me for. And that was me texting Shay. And what I had to text Shay was, hey, don't forget, I gotta be out of here by 2:15 to go pick up my kids from school. So can y'all just type in the chat, real life happens? Like, what I need you to understand from my perspective, from everything that you're hearing, is the reason that we are hosting this challenge is because, especially for a lot of the women, I'm not saying this isn't applicable to men, but for a lot of the women, we wear a lot of hats. We juggle a lot of priorities. And what Shay and I want you to do is, we don't want you to put your possibilities on the back burner because of your responsibilities. I'm going to repeat that. You get to have both. You get to be amazing at both. I get to be amazing at my responsibilities of juggling being a wife and a mother and a daughter and a sister. And I get to be amazing as a woman who is giving her gift to the world. So my possibilities, my responsibilities and my possibilities, they both get to live. And sometimes we're juggling and we have to learn how to juggle and how to prioritize and how to keep harmony and all that. So it's a lot on our shoulders as women. But I want you to know from my experience, it can be done. When I came into this entrepreneurial world, which I knew nothing about, I didn't come from a long line of entrepreneurs. I didn't have a bunch of money in the bank to hire coaches and all that stuff at the time. But what I had was a desire. I had a desire for time freedom, financial freedom, and creative freedom. I had the desire to be in this position where I could generate enough revenue to replace at the time my $75,000 a year that I made on the job. I wanted to replace that so I could be home to be present for my children. So I could be the mother who was leaving out the door at 2:15 to go pick her kids up from school, who could be the mother who was dropping her kids off at 7:25 in the morning, not who was putting them on the bus stop and waiting for them to get home or waiting for them to see them at home later after 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. when I got home from the job I didn't love. I'm just saying that was my story. That was my big why. And so as we continue the conversation about money, sometimes for women, and I just think this is necessary for me to say, sometimes we are uneasy about talking about money. That's the last thing that we want to talk about. We don't want to talk about high ticket, high value premium offers. We don't want to offer 10,000, 20,000, 15,000, 25, 30,000 offers in the marketplace because we feel like, well, I just want to serve. And serving is beautiful. And I love serving. And I serve from my core. But serving is even better when I am earning well because I am serving well. Can I repeat that? It's even better. It's even more fulfilling when I am earning well because I'm serving well, when I'm making millions while I'm impacting the lives of millions. That makes it that much juicier. So that's why we're having the conversation. Yes, we want you to master the art of speaking and sharing your voice and sharing your story and creating frameworks that you allow you to teach other people how to get out of a pain that they're in. That is a big part of legacy. Legacy is something you pass down. So that's huge. That's why I'm here to teach you that, to teach you how to craft it. How do you engage with people's emotions so that they are moved into decisive action to take the next step towards what they want? But the money cannot be a part of the conversation that we leave out just because it makes us uncomfortable, just because we only want to serve. No, I want to serve at the highest level possible, which means I have to have something that I can offer people to usher them into what I promised them from the stage. So I needed to share that because I had to remind Shay, I got to be out of here 2:15 to pick up my kids because I love what I do. But first priority is why I said yes to this thing. I am not going to get emotional and cry. But I remember what it was like when I first started 12 years ago. And I was dropping my kids off at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I wasn't picking them up until 6 o'clock at night. And I was like, God, like, show me how to do this thing. And I sucked at selling. Like, I sucked. I was horrible. Don't even think about selling a $10,000, a $20,000, a $60,000. Like Shay was mentioning, Myron asked him, like, what? That was far from anything I could imagine because I was nervous selling a 97 or a 297 or a 997. But what I learned is that the higher the value, the higher the investment, because it requires more of my dedication, more of my focus, more of the value that I can bring. I can only deliver so much value in a 997 product, and we only together for maybe a couple weeks or a session, or we're in a boot camp for 3 days. That's great. That's a great start. And it's necessary that you have those things and some of the things I'm going to mention in a few minutes, but you also need to have the high value for the high value folks who are ready for stepping into that next level, that next season, that next chapter. So don't hold people hostage in a space where they no longer want to be because you're afraid to make the ask, because you're afraid to speak up about what you can produce in their life or in their business or their career or their relationship or their health or whatever is your specialty. And then remember your big why. Why are you doing it? And always remind yourself that you have the right to earn well as you're serving well. So I've gotten to a space over the past 12 years where I've been able to become a 7-figure earner in my business. I started from nothing, But I didn't just become a 7-figure earner just because I blinked my eyes and I was like, oh, I want it. Oh God, I want it. That wasn't it. Or because I said prayers fervently to God at night. That's not why I became a 7-figure earner. I became a 7-figure earner because a lot of the things that Shay is telling you about, that value ladder, being able to meet people where they are, being able to have a diversified portfolio of offerings, which I call a DPO, where I'm never relying upon one thing. No, I'm going to have this money coming in and this money and that money and that money. Oh, and that one is no longer coming in, but that's okay because that was replaced with this money. Like, I never want to be in a state of desperation, and I certainly don't want to be in a space of feast or famine in my business. That's why we're having this conversation. So I just had to share that. So let me give really quickly to you, because I want Shay to get back to the amazing content that he was sharing. But let me share with you some of the other pieces, in addition to the high value premium offers, some other things that you can pull in as revenue streams so that you can hit your number. First of all, what's your number? Can we just address that? Like, some of you don't even have a number. You just like, I just want to make money. I just want to be wealthy. I just want to be profitable. I want to make revenue. You don't even have a number. No, what's the number? No, I want to, in the next 12 months, I want to generate my first $100,000 in my business, or I want to generate $500,000 in my business, or in the next 12 months, I want to finally cross the 7-figure mark. I want to be at that $1 million mark. What is the number? Write the number down right now. And you don't have to put it in the post. I won't even ask you to do that. It's personal. What is your number? And then can you back into what is it going to require for me to get to that number? And one of the things I mentioned earlier was, number one, meeting people where they are, which means you need to have a diversified portfolio that allows people to choose the time commitment. It allows them to choose the financial commitment, and it allows them to decide where they want to play, what level they want to play at. So there's a book that I read by Brendan Burchard. And the name of the book I want to say is, wait a minute, hang on. I have it right here, I believe. Yep.
I love it. I just love it when she does that.
Because I didn't plan to share it, but I'm like, okay, but I'm here and it's on my heart. Here it is right here. And it's called The Millionaire Messenger, Brendan Burchard. It's a New York Times bestseller book, and it's Make a Difference and a Fortune, Sharing Your Advice. And he talks about how we are information experts, right? The moment that you claim that you're an information expert, and you take everything that you know, everything you've learned, everything you've been through, the successes, the failures, all the stuff, and you package it into how-to content, you become an information expert, and you deliver that as a messenger, right? And you can become a millionaire messenger. And in the book, he talks about there being 5 modalities of learning. A modality is just a method of learning. It's a way that people learn. So here are the 5 modalities. There's reading, hearing, seeing, experiencing, and mastering. And the question becomes, what products or services can I offer in each of those categories? Not one or the other, not one of the 5 or 2 of the 5. No, in all 5 categories, what can I offer? How-to content, outcome-based content that will allow people to get from one place to another place in their life, their business, their relationship, their health and wellness, whatever it is that you're teaching. And so, is it for reading? What are you going to create? How are you going to help people to get on the other side of a pain through something that you produce in reading? So, have you written a book? If not, the question becomes why. And then the next question becomes when. Why haven't you? And when are you? That's it. That's simple. And now we're in a time where it is easier to write a book than ever before. There are so many tools available to walk you through the process. You can write the book in the next, okay, look, I'm gonna give you in the next 4 months. In the next 6 months. Let me give you, I'm gonna share this real quick. Let me give you the easiest way to write your first book. If you don't have your own solo book project, type the number 1 in the chat. First of all, let me just see how many people I'm talking to. If you've been a part of anthology books, all that stuff, but you have not written your book yet, you haven't written a solo book project yet, type the number 1 in the chat so I can just see how many people I'm talking to. And I know this thing is like lagging behind on our end over here on StreamYard, so I can't see the ones coming in. But I'm going to assume that there are at least a couple folks out there who have not written their own solo project. You've been a part of a lot of anthologies, but you want to write your own solo project. Easiest way, let me give you the easiest, quickest way, fastest way to write your own book project without it being this long, drawn out, tedious process. Write a book of tips. Where are my tip books? Write every book I've written as a solo project is a tip book. All right, hold on. I'm gonna show you another. Hold on. Me and Shay just like.
She's on a roll, ladies and gentlemen. She's on a roll.
There's just a couple of them. All right. So this is success tips for speakers. What does it say down there? 50 tips to jumpstart your speaking career. What is the book filled with? Speaker tips. Hello. 50 powerful speaker tips. That's a whole book that I'm selling when I'm going into events. It's a whole book that when someone's hiring me to speak, guess what? I can also pitch. Hey, this is a continuing education product. So you can order this, use your CEU budget to order this. Oh, I'm giving them the juice today. So you can order copies of this so that not only do you get me on stage, but also your attendees continue to experience my expertise even long after the 45-minute speech. Get them the book. Get 150 copies, autographed copies of the book. I'm just saying. Here's another one. Master your mindset to manifest your big dreams. What is it? It's tips. I call them reflections. That's it. It's reflections. And I don't want to make it seem like that's it, because mindset thoughts and the thoughts we put in are critical. Like that's the foundation for everything that you will do, everything that you will accomplish, all the risks that you will take. It's all about what you put in. So these are powerful. So I probably have 8 self-help tip books in the marketplace. This one right here, Master Your Mindset, is the one that NASA ordered 150 copies, autographed copies, and paid me my full speaker fee. So don't sleep on what you know. All them juicy tips that you put in on Facebook and on LinkedIn and on IG, why would you not take those tips and put them in a book that people will pay for so that they can keep it close to them? That's one way to read. That's one way to get your own project going. Like that should be the first thing that you do. And then you can write the biography later, but get your own project. So we go through these 5 modalities of learning. Reading, again, is one of them. So what can I put in to print form that people can purchase and learn from my expertise? Number 2, seeing. What can I put into a form where they will see me and be able to learn what I know? So seeing might be you're doing a webinar and they're visually seeing you. They're visually watching. You're pulling up slides on the screen. So they're able to see something that you are producing. Let's go to hearing. Hearing is something, of course, that you do audibly. So what can you record? Is it an audio training? Can you do your book can you publish your book, then do the book as an audio book? Now you got 2 streams of revenue. You got the one for people who want to read it, touch it, hold it, feel it. And you got the one that people want to listen to because they're busy like me. They got to go pick up their kids in 15 minutes. So what can you put your content into that will allow people who are audibly need to hear things, listen to the message, that they can do? Is it an MP3? Just be creative, guys. Experiencing will be your live events. Any live event allows people who have been following your work, they've read the book, they listened to the audio stuff, they saw you on Facebook Live and Instagram. Now it gives them a space to come and actually experience you live and in person. How many of you have ever had someone and you followed their work and you followed their message or their movement and you're like, oh, one day I'm gonna be in the room. One day I'm gonna be in the room. That's how I was with Tony Robbins. I was like, oh, I'm coming. That's how I was with Lisa Nichols. I was like, oh, I'm coming. One day I'm coming for you. And finally, I bought the ticket, got the airplane ticket, got the hotel, and I went to see these individuals because now I wanted to take everything I had known about them, experience from them, and learn from them, and get the experience in person. Ain't nothing, I think Shay said this earlier, ain't nothing like up close and personal. Ain't nothing like in person. And you right there, you like, oh, I'm in the room with greatness. Oh, they don't even know. Y'all know how, like, I'm just saying, I know we have all diverse types of people, but just to let y'all know about like Black people, like when we start clapping our hand, you know we mean what we say. It's like, oh, they don't even, have y'all, is it just me? Like, have you ever been in a room with somebody who was a master at what they do and you go out and you do the room and you be like, they don't even know, Shay. They don't even know what's about to happen. They don't even know what's coming for them. Because you're fired up, because that energy now, you got it live and in person, and it does something different. It shifts who you are from everything that you saw online and virtually. Now you're experiencing it in person. So you should be doing your own experiential things. Like, are you hosting your own conference live? And it doesn't have to be 100 people. It doesn't have to be 200 people. It doesn't have to be 2,000 people. And it doesn't have to look like nobody else's. I know that we're seeing this shift, this trend, I'll say, in the marketplace where people have, it's 2,000 people came. And now you feel less than because you can't put 2,000 people in a room. And so now you feel like you're not supposed to host a conference or an event because you can't do it as big as they did. Get your eyes off of everybody else. Play in your lane. And what I can tell you is some of those events, and they bless their heart, bless their ministry. But some of those events I go to, and it's 2,000, 3,000 people. I ain't make one connection because it was just a big hype fest. And it looked good for the people who were putting it on. But as the person sitting in the room, sitting in the audience, I really didn't get what I thought I was coming for. I've had that experience multiple times. No shade, nothing wrong with hosting a big event. Let them do them, but I'm going to do me. So be willing to do you. What feels good to your spirit? I love the more intimate spaces where maybe there's 100 people in the room, maybe 150 or 200, and we can be paired up and we can actually make real connections. And I can leave there not with a whole handful of business cards, but I can leave there with actual new connections that I know we're going to do something grand together. That's what I'm looking for in my life. I'm not looking for a hype fest. So stop thinking that you got to do what everybody else does because that's the trend. No, I am the trend. You are the trend. Type that in the chat. I'm just saying that. Shading got me fired up. Type in the chat. I am the trend. You get to set the trend. You're the trailblazer. You don't follow what other people doing. You set the trends that they follow. Hello. So I stick to who I am authentically. I know what I love. I know what I enjoy, and I don't shift or bend for anybody else. So do those live events. It could be a conference with 50 people. Before I started hosting conferences with 200-300 people, I was doing conferences in the Hampton Inn in a small little room that cost me $100. And I was doing that for 50 people or 25 people or sometimes 15 people. So don't feel like you have to do it so big to start. Start where you are and progress to where you want to be. Start where you are and progress to where you want to be, period. So lunches, brunches, half-day workshops, anything live, a boot camp event, right? It could be multiple day or it could be one day. It could be a summit. It could be a one-day summit. It could be a one-day conference or a two-day conference. You get to dictate what it is. That's the experience. And then mastery. And mastery is the highest level of opportunities that you can offer for people to come in and they say, look, I want to know everything you know. My relationship, my coaching relationship with Lisa Nichols is a mastery relationship. My coaching relationship with her coach, Susie Carter, is a mastery relationship. My relationship with Les Brown is mastery. I want to know everything you know because I want to be similar to, I want to be the reflection of what you all are doing in the marketplace. I want my name to be known and synonymous with motivation and inspiration and empowerment. Like that just is who I am. And I don't diminish that. I don't diminish motivation because everybody needs to be motivated. If you ain't motivated, you ain't doing nothing. You're going to be sitting at home depressed. So I'm okay with being called a motivational speaker. Some people aren't, but I am. So I own my stuff. And what I do is I go to the masters to get mastery of the thing that I'm still growing into because they've been in it. Les Brown has been doing speaking for 50 years. Lisa has been in the game for almost 30, like 30 years. Eric Thomas, 30 years. So everybody I'm getting mastery under are people who are already 30, 40 steps ahead of me. So when I talk about a DPO, let me give you this quickly, and I'm going to turn it back over to Shay. My DPO then becomes, how do I take what I know and turn it into, package it, position it, price it, put it in the marketplace for people to buy based on one of these 5 modalities: reading, seeing, hearing, experiencing, or mastering. And I broke it down into, I'll give you quickly 24 pieces that are connected to my DPO. And you could expand beyond that. But DPO again stands for diversified portfolio of offerings. It basically is your menu that you offer when people come into your space. So if I go into a space, I go into a restaurant, I don't just tell me all you have is chicken. Now, unless that's really just what I want that particular day. But most days I want to have options. Give me some options. And so I'm looking at the menu and all I see is chicken. I'm like, well, I didn't want chicken today. You don't have no steak? No, we don't have steak. Okay. You don't have lobster? No, we don't have lobster. You don't have no shrimp? Won't have no shrimp. You don't got no fish? No, I won't have none of that. You got anything vegan? I'm like, give me some options. Don't tell me I can only have chicken. That's what your DPO is. It's letting people know they don't have to only eat one thing from you. They get to choose what they want to eat. So let me throw these out. Y'all ready? All right. So the DPO can consist of live events. We just mentioned that, which would be conferences, boot camps. It can be any of those things. It can be retreats. It can be intimate things. It can be a summit, right? We just went down through a whole list. Number two, training courses. And you get to decide, are the training courses going to be, live, in person, or just live virtually? You get to choose. Number three, individual coaching. And that should be your premium, a high value premium price point, premium investment. Why? Because that's the best of you. Some of you are giving the best of you at entry level investment options. You're giving the best of you at the entry level number. And that's why people aren't signing up for the next thing. They're not signing up for the individual coaching because they're like, well, why would I invest 20,000 or 40,000 or 60,000 to get you one-on-one when I get enough of you in the low tier, the 997, where I don't even need you at the high tier. So you got to make sure the gap is wide enough where people are yearning for the individual access to you. I spent 40 grand my first time coaching with Lisa. 40 grand, right? This is not a secret. She'll tell you, she's told it on calls herself. 40 grand for one day, not a month, not a year, that was 40 grand for one day of coaching with her because I valued her level of expertise so much that I was willing to invest at that level. But here's the best part. She valued her expertise enough to set the price at that and to know that those who really wanted it would make the investment. See, I didn't want to be in a room with 100, 200, 300 people all raising their hand, asking questions. Now I got to, for a whole day, sit through everybody else's question when I'm already 40 steps ahead of them people. No, I need to get to the point because I got work to do in the world. I got impact to make. I got legacy to create. So I need you in a room with me in a conference room for 8 hours where you can directly focus on me and my journey and my challenges and my breakthroughs. So I'm good soil. I'm good soil to sow into. So I made the investment in me so that I could have that day with her. Transformational. And then I just kept coming back and I kept on investing with her. And here's something that I shared recently at a mastermind that Shay and I did together. And that mastermind, this was a big takeaway for a lot of people. The question becomes, who is your home base? When you're talking about coaching, when you're talking about being poured into and being educated, who is your home base? What I mean by home base is I go and I coach with the greats. I want to be a person who is versatile and I have people who are pouring in, people who are experts at different things, marketing, sales, whatever the thing might be, communication. So I've coached with Les, I've coached with ET, I've coached with all these different people. But at the end of the day, Lisa is my home base because she is most representative of how I want to play in the world. She's a woman. She's a Black woman. She's crushing the game and has been for years. She's highly revered and respected in the marketplace. Like she can close over like a 1.6. When I served on her sales team, we closed $1.6 million in her 4-day weekend event. Like, yeah, I'm trying to play at that level. She has people like Jack Canfield and Brian Tracy on speed dial. She's in the room with them. Yeah, that's the level I want to play at. So that's my home base. Who is your home base? Type that in the chat. Who is my home base? Like no matter where else I go and I get great content and I get great value, but who's really consistently pouring into you because they are most reflective and representative of how you want to play in the world, period. So individual coaching is an opportunity for you to serve people. Group coaching is another way. I love group coaching. I love to have a small, intimate group of maybe 25, 30 people that I get to pour into. That's one of my favorite things to do. Here's another thing that you can sell, believe it or not, downloadable printable guides. So create some questionnaires, create some checklists, create some cheat sheets, create some tutorials, and be able to have them available for people to just click and buy, and immediately they get it. As soon as they swipe their credit card, they automatically get it in their inbox and they can print it or download it. Like that's actual content that people will pay for. Ebooks, right? But make the ebook juicy. Shay was alluding to this earlier. What I say just very frankly is don't give me no junk. So don't give me no junk with your free stuff. Don't give me no junk with your ebooks. Because that it might be an entry level, but it's telling me how you're going to serve me for the high level and the high value premium stuff. So yeah, don't give me no junk. Don't give me nothing junk, or I'm never coming back and investing any of my dollars with you, because you got to know that everything that you deliver should be in excellence. So if you give me the free thing in excellence, I believe the low tier is going to be in excellence. If you serve me low tier in excellence, I believe the high tier is going to be even more excellence. So everything should be excellent. Book anthology projects is another part of the DPO. There's another way that you can generate revenue. Certification programs. Like this is, you can certify trainers who are going to train under you, almost like train the trainer programs. So, hey, the thing that you do, you're like, well, look, I'm going to bring in coaches or I'm going to bring in trainers under me, which is something that my company is about to launch this year, actually going into next year. So you'll hear us talking about it a little bit at SpeakerCon in November, in a couple weeks. And that will be taking that into the new year where we will be training coaches who will be delivering some of the value in our programs. Why? Because I don't have the capacity to do it all. I'm one person. And I'm being pulled on more and more in different directions and a higher level. But at the same time, what am I doing? I'm taking that opportunity to train people and to create certification programs to be able to lift as I climb. Why? Because leaders build other leaders. So I don't want to go to the top by myself. I want to bring people with me. Like, come on, y'all, let's go. So those who want in for that, they'll have the opportunity to be a part of that. But also it's a revenue generator, right? Because you're not going to train people to be able to generate revenue and it's not going to require an investment. So get used to that. Get used to the idea that, you know what, I must require that people invest in themselves, as Shay always says, at the level at what they expect, at which they expect a return. All right, let me give you the rest of these really quickly and turn it back over to Shay. Memberships. Shay alluded to that, right? He talked about the continuity and having monthly memberships. That's a great revenue stream. Exclusive masterminds. I just hosted my first official mastermind this past week. It was amazing. I cannot wait to host the next one. So now this mastermind is a quarterly mastermind. You have to be invited into the mastermind. So it's very exclusive and it is maxed at a certain number of people that can come, which is a small group. It's 20 people, 25 people that can come to the mastermind. So now we launched that. Now that's another level of excitement and energy and service, but also I'm able to monetize it. Video recordings, audio recordings, because some people are visual, other people are audibly learn, auditory learners. So you want to make sure you're touching the different types of learners. Webinars, you can sell bundle packages. You can have affiliate partnerships that bring more money into your business, because now your affiliate partnerships, guess what? Those partners are bringing people to you that otherwise you would not touch because they wouldn't even know about you. So yeah, you got to open yourself up to being connected to other people and to their tribe and community, because as you're continuing to grow your own tribe and community. Merchandise, so your journal books, your cups, your mugs, like all of that, put that in a package. And instead of just selling the book for $15 or $20, sell the book, sell the mug, sell the journal, sell the workbook, and sell a pre-recorded training. And now you're selling it for $200 instead of making a book, having a book that sells for $15 or $20. So package things together so that you add value. And I know some of these numbers might seem small, and you're just like, well, it's $200, because especially when you got Shay over here talking about 10,000, 20,000, 40,000. But let me tell you this: don't sleep on the small numbers either. Like if I'm walking, I'm not going to step over a $20 bill because I see a $100 bill. I'm going to pick up the $20 bill, and then I'm going to walk over and pick up the $100 bill. Like, we are not leaving any money on the table. All of it matters. And I learned that really through my coaching with Lisa Nichols, because I got to a point where I created a certain reputation, and I thought I couldn't sell the small stuff. Oh, I can't sell nothing that's $9.97 anymore because I'm past that. But I really believed it. It wasn't me being egotistical or arrogant. I just didn't know any better. So I go onto her campus. I go to this what was it called? GLP. I forget what the GLP stands for. Anyway, I go to the event, and I look in their workbook, and not only are they selling the $60,000 thing and the $100,000 thing, but they also got a $197 thing that you can buy. And I sat back in my chair, and mine was blown. And this is about 7 years ago. And I'm just like, all this time, I thought I could only sell the high tier stuff because of the level I had gone to. I'd basically reached in my journey. And no, the successful people, the really successful people, the smart people understand we don't leave money on the table. I'm picking up the 20 and the 100 and the 1,000 and the next thing. So y'all have multiple streams of revenue that's coming in so that you're never dependent on, like Shay said, the thing about the high value premium ticket price is you sell a 20K. Now you got to go out and you got to hunt for another 20K client. But guess what? While you're hunting, what else is coming in? While you're hunting for the big one, the high value, what else is coming in so that you don't have feast or famine? You're always eating good. I want to eat. I like eating good. Okay. Last ones, hardcover, paperback books. You can do that. You can have referral programs. You can have rev share opportunities. You can have pick my brain strategy sessions. You could sell a pick my brain strategy session for $1,000 to have a 40-minute discussion with somebody, right? So if they sign up for that first one and it's juicy, they might want to do a whole year with you. Now you have them maybe come in and do a $12,000 product because now they want one session with you every month. So it's not that we sell something small and we stop there. There should always be an NSI. What's my next step invitation? So what do I invite them into after this? How do I invite them to play with me after they get the startup thing, after they get the $1,000 thing or the $2,000 thing? Always knowing in your mind what's next. Where am I leading them? And what are my feeders to the big tier, high value premium offers? So stop telling people that they can't pick your brain. Yeah, you sure can pick my brain. Here is the invoice for that. Yes, you can. I have a pick my brain strategy session that you can invest in. All right. Repurpose content that you've created, and now you're repurposing it and selling it again. You can even do spotlights and features and branded ads. Let's say that you have a really big network or you have a big following on a social media platform. Guess what? People will invest in being featured. People love to be spotlighted. They love to be featured. Okay, don't just do it for free. Like, make it something that they can invest in. Why? Because it's increasing their visibility, which is increasing their what? Credibility, which ultimately increases their profitability. So do not sleep on the value of visibility and your opportunities to be able to maximize visibility investments if you have that type of following. And then also there are what we call reseller programs where people choose to create something, and it's something that's not like super proprietary information, meaning it's not something where, oh, well, I don't want anybody to get a hold of this. This is my thing that I created. It's trademark or it's registered, and I don't want anybody else to be able to use this but me. No, this is some fundamental, hey, here's 10 ways to get booked on stage. It's something that you created. You turn into a product and you give other people permission to sell that product. And guess what? You just make a big chunk on the front end. Hey, you can spend, $1,000 for this XYZ ebook and you can sell it to anybody you want. And you show people how they make money back by purchasing that $1,000 ebook. And imagine if you sell 10 of them. Imagine if you sell 100 of them in a year. Like, really, really back into the numbers. I got through it all.
The good news is you got through it all. Their point, like, don't forget you got to be out there in 1 minute.
I said with 1 minute to spare.
I want you all to know that Dr. Cheryl Wood is amazing. The list that she's going through, for those folks who text the word born to serve, you'll see kind of that sporadic feel, maybe not be the whole thing, but we'll take some of the big highlights out of there and you'll get that inside of the workbook. I know y'all are taking notes as fast as you can. Some of you go back and listen to this a second or third time. And it's a great segue because tomorrow, during this challenge, for those that show up, we'll be talking about how to monetize your own stages. And many of the pieces she meant was a prelude. The doctor you're always rocking and rolling. You're always, hey, look at that, I'm learning this cool stuff. This is cool. You're always, I know I'm a geek. You're always learning. Thank you so much. I know you got to go pick the little one up. She'll be watching online or listening until she has to go do some other things. But here's what I want you to know. For those that make a decision that now is your time, look in the feed and post which one of the two that you're going to do. Which one of the DOIP, what's it called again, Dr. Wood?
DPO, Diversified Portfolio of Offerings.
DPIO, sound like a government worker. Diversified Portfolio something.
Of Offerings.
What is it again?
Why is Shay acting like it's that hard? Why is Shay acting like it's that hard, y'all? It's DPO, Diversified Portfolio of Offerings.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks so much. Pick your kids. I want you to do a video, seriously. And the reason I want you to do videos is that many of you are speakers. Many of you have to communicate. Many of you got to do pages. She's got to roll, y'all, because she's got to rock and roll. And when you do the video, here's the homework assignment. I'm going to get to this in a minute. Here's the homework assignment. And it's for Dr. Wood and myself as well. Take your phone out today because this is all about getting it done. Select any one of the DPO. Thanks a lot. Someone put it out there for me. Diversified Portfolio Offerings. Pick any one of those and then say, I'm going to do a challenge. I don't know if that's it. And here's why I'm doing it. And here's the value I'm going to deliver. I'm going to write a book on how to be a comeback champion. And here's the value I'm going to deliver. Here's why I'm going to do it. And then here's the value the person is going to receive from it. Now, I want you to do that. Like, the homework assignment. Someone put the homework assignment. Homework assignment number 3. And put number 3 up there. All the videos are in the laws. We're going back and chatting about them. But put homework number 3. Someone put this in the chat. Which DPO, select the DPO. That's number 1. Number 2, do a video explaining what the DPO is, why you decided to do the DPO, and then what's the value to the person on the other side. So you're not selling it. You're going to just share it. You're going to make a point. So if I was doing one on my DPO was having a mastermind on how to build a 7-figure sales team, I'll say, hey, I'm going to do a mastermind on how to build a 7-figure sales team. And here's exactly why I'm doing it. A number of folks don't want to do all the selling themselves. A number of folks want to have other revenue streams coming in. So whatever it is, you do that. And then you post that into the group. Now, we're going to go back. Trust me, we're going to do a summary. We're tracking all the videos that come in. We got a list of all the names and all the topics. And our heart is in the right places to do a summary and come back and give you the feedback. Isn't that kind of amazing? We're going to select some. And I enjoy watching it. Someone sent me a note today, right before I went live, and said, hey, Shay, I need to do mine over again. Cool. You want to go back and do your story over again? Do it a second time. Keep the other one up. So for those folks that are committed to that, you're committed to the homework, you're committed to serve, do me a favor. In the chat feature, just jot number 1. Just jot number 1. Just jot a number 1. Just jot number 1. I'm going to get into how to create a high ticket product. I'm going to get into the benefits of that right now. But I want you to create a number 1 because this is for you. This challenge is for you and the people you were called to serve. And for some of you, the families that are dependent on you. Your family's dependent on you. For some of you, it's your community is dependent on you to do this. For some of you, there's someone out there that's in pain right now. And they're going to remain in pain if they don't hear from you, or they're going to go find someone else who's probably not as good as you. Maybe not as committed as you. Maybe don't have the right heart that you have. And I see some of the number 1s coming in here right now. What I want to do is I want you to write down your 1-year revenue goal. And this is where I was going when I said I'm going to put this up there. Can this get bigger? I guess it could if I wanted it to, huh? Let's just see how this does. Let's see if I do this, what happens. That didn't do much, did it? She was. But here's what I want you thinking. And we'll get into the benefits of creating a product in a moment. But I want you to get to thinking, number 1, let's just imagine that I have a goal that I want to get to $1 million a year, right? And anyone's had an opportunity to work with our company, even if you're at the lowest level possible, or the entry point, I'll say, it's always $25,000 per month of consistent, predictable, reliable revenue, right? That's a minimum goal. If you just want to, make a couple $1,000s a month to replace your salary, certainly you can probably sell Girl Scout cookies and do that. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but $1,000, $2,000, that's a lot of money. But you go sell Girl Scout cookies, right? You'll probably just fine. But some of you are game changers. Some of you are world changers, and some of you want to change the world. And the value that you deliver, the value you deliver creates the results folks are looking for. So let's just imagine for a moment that you had a $25,000 product, and that product, whatever it may be, is there to solve a problem. It solves a solution. High premium product creates high value. And let's say it's $25,000 per month. And we were just doing the math. Let's say your goal was $1 million. And you said, my goal is to get 2 clients a month, right? And why do I say that? Because what gets measured gets managed. Someone put that down in your notes. Put that in your notes, like in the chat feature. If you're taking notes in the chat feature, or even on your phone, some of you are participating live and some of you are doing it behind the scenes. But put down what gets measured gets managed. What gets measured gets managed. I have calls on a continuous basis. Sometimes it's a random calls. People refer folks to our office. And when I talk to them, first thing I do is say, what is your revenue goal? And sometimes they say, well, my goal is to make as much money as possible, or my goal is $1 million. And then I say, well, how are you doing against that goal now? Right? And some folks are nowhere near it, and that's okay. But they have a goal, always have a plan. So let's say that was it. So now you're looking for 2 clients a month. Doesn't stop all the other activity you're doing, but you have a solution for the person that's aboard. And part of the sales strategy in some cases for some clients is you're always offering your best stuff up front. Okay. And we'll talk about qualifying in a minute. We'll talk about having a high ticket appointment sequence in a minute. I can talk about a questionnaire in a minute. Talk about a sales funnel that gets them there. Not trying to overwhelm you in here. Dr. Wood just gave you a whole lot real fast. So I'm trying to step back for a moment and say, okay, you need all that. But we're going to focus as well on the system, because it doesn't matter where they are. You've got a wheel and you're going to meet them where they are. But the wheel I always like to say is these core products. I mean, this core lineup. Number two, let's say you decide I'm going to do a $10,000 mastermind. So maybe you're doing a $25,000 product, and that high premium product involves other folks. So if I got a product and we used to have a business makeover, we got one now it's a sales makeover. There was $25,000. It's now $40,000, right? But that $40,000 embeds me working with other individuals who we pay very, very well, who deliver at a high level to be part of the team. So here's what I want you to know. Put this in your notes. The answer to who don't have to be you, number one, for high ticket products. So it's not about how much more work can you do. That's not the question. Number two, behind that, and I think this is probably the most important part about that, is how do I collaborate with other folks to get them the value they're looking for. So if I'm working with someone and they're putting together their $25,000 offer, because that's the value of someone gets a new job and they help folks find, get into the C-suite, just saying that, or something of that nature, then it's possible that person may have a $35,000 offer, and they may hire someone that does the resume. They may hire someone that does the interview coaching. They may hire someone that writes the jobs they're applying for. It's a lot of pieces to go into it. Here's the point. You don't always have to be the answer to your client's problems. It's just important to be the bridge. And what that means is that you can be the bridge that someone can come across, but you being the bridge, there's a toll. I live here in Washington, D.C. We can't do tolls because we're not a state, by the way, which is something that's a topic for another time. But when I go to Virginia or Maryland, I'm driving down their roads. They may have a toll because I want to get somewhere faster. I want to get somewhere quicker. I want less traffic. And so $25,000. Number two, $10,000 offer. Now, for the $10,000 offer, then you need 5 folks. Even if you fail miserably and only got 2, that's 20 grand a month. Just like $25,000. And if you only sold 1 a month, that's another $300,000 a year coming in. If some of you sold 1 every 3 months, it's another $100,000 revenue stream on top of the other activities. We'll get to that in a minute. Then there's the $5,000 one, which for most folks, when they're doing their first high premium product offering, typically between $3,000 to $5,000. Okay, typically between $3,000 to $5,000. And so there's somewhere in that middle ground where they may need 10 clients a month to get to $50,000 or $600,000 a year. And even if they get half of that and half somewhere else, you get the point. You get the point. What I want you to take a look at is, even when you get down to continuity products, and even if you had a continuity product was $97, and you did nothing but get, I don't know, 500 clients in this program that builds up over time, but that money starts coming in on a consistent, predictable, reliable time, you've got yourself $50K a month coming in. We had the Silver Partner program. Some of you may remember that program. Started in 2004. It's one of our first continuity programs. Back then it was called a membership program, just what it was. They changed names so many times. And that program was one where I would work with individuals once a week. It was a group coaching program. I love that program. I did it for about 12 years. And my goal was always to get 1,000 members in that program. It was $25 a month. And I never got to 1,000 members, by the way. I think the highest we got was 500 some members, but I was still like $12,000 that was coming in. And once a week, I had to show up with the best content and teaching these selling skills and teaching other skills, time management, funnels and other stuff that was very relevant. The reason I tell you that story, I'm not telling you to go sell a $25,000 product. That's not what I'm telling you. But I am saying that some of you may build a tribe, and it's possible you may come back and have a $100 product. You only have 100 members that are coming in, and now you've got $10,000 a month that comes month after month after month, and you build that up. And the reason that folks, I put that $97 tier down there is that here's what we know. Put this in your notes. That 20% of the folks who take a baby step with you, they found you online, they found you through a webinar, they found you through the book, they got excited, heard you speaking, and they just signed up. I mean, $97, it's a lot of money, but for some folks, that's a tank of gas. Okay, that's a tank of gas costs more than that these days. And so they sign up with you. But when they signed up for you at this baby step, whatever it is, let's say is a group coaching program, that's not where they were. They're beyond that. Just like some of you listening right here, right now, you're beyond that. You're ready for the next level. You're ready for customization. You're ready to get implementation. You're ready to do something where you don't want to sit at home and try to learn it all yourself. You've learned it. You're now ready to move forward and do some other things. Now that's $10,000 per month. Goes to the bottom line. That means it's very, very profitable. You take that money and run ads and do other things. And sometimes Shay, what's the biggest challenge that folks have just selling? Seriously, like they already know all this stuff. What's the biggest challenge they have? And I say, the biggest challenge they have is not selling the product. The biggest challenge they have is in their sales model. They don't offer it, or an initial part before qualifying. They don't say, if you want everything done for you and you want to walk into a situation where we're going to build the house, that's an analogy I like to use. We're going to find the home for you. We're going to break ground for you. We're going to build the house from the ground up, customized the way you want it. Yes, we'll put a pool in the back if that's what you want. Yes, we'll do this. Yes, we'll do that. It's going to be $25,000, whatever the number is. And the person says, I wasn't looking for a custom home. I want to know what it was, but that's not what I'm looking for. I really just need this. Then it's okay. Then you have what's called a down sale. And so the challenge many of them have, that's why I said make more offers. When I said that earlier, I know one of my colleagues has made that popular by having the challenge and so forth about that. But it's so true. When I learned that from him, when I learned that 10, 15 years ago, before challenges were even out, that stuck with me. Make more offers, make more offers, make more offers. In fact, I had a conversation with someone about the exact same thing. And they came to me and they were trying to get their revenue up. And one of the things I share with them, and put this in your notes, I don't care which one of those products you picked on that menu level, put this in your notes for just a goal. Make more offers. I want you to have this, just make more offers. And the person came to me and they were struggling. It wasn't about the high ticket product. They had created a course that was a online course. They were selling for $5,000. And this course that's all the cool, had all the bells and whistles, had everything they needed to it. They put their heart and soul into it. And the biggest challenge they had is it wasn't moving. So here's what I found out when I had the conversation. They weren't really even offering it. Isn't that kind of crazy, right? You would think this, well, I don't know if they're this, I don't know if they can afford it. I said, here's what I would do. I would mention that's where you are. Number one, target your ideal client who has a problem. They wants to get all this stuff resolved. That's number one. They weren't even targeting that. They were talking about a bunch of other stuff over here. Number two, put this in your notes and then put these four things down your notes. Number one, take the number of offers you make in a year and make it in a month. So if you have a $10,000 product and you're not even talking about it, and you're like, I only offer this thing maybe 5 times a year because I don't know if I have the right people here. That's a lead generation problem. I think we're getting into that later this week. But you're not even offering it. The number of offers you make in a year, offer that in a month to the right people. That's number one. So you just make more offers. Number two, the number of offers you make in a month. So you look back over the last 30 days with all your products and services, and you said, sure, I really only asked 30 people to work with me, whether it's through a webinar, one-on-one, through a conference, through your podcast, or wherever it was. The number of offers you make in a month, make it in a week. So now the number of offers you make in a year, you make in a week. The number of offers you make in a week, you make in a day. And the number of offers you make in a day, you make in an hour on an ongoing basis, even if it's an automated webinar, even if it's on a replay. And so that's one of the challenges folks makes. They may not have an automated webinar going on, an automated masterclass. So if they're not there, the whole company stops. Now, I don't want to get sidetracked on that, but I want you to know that, because for some of you, you might even have a sales problem. Really, honestly, you're just not making enough offers. So let me share with you the 4 rules. The 4 rules. Maybe I'll copy these. Maybe I'll put these in so you can see them. You can write them down. The 4 rules. And then I'll get into the funnel, and I'll do all that very, very quickly here, because I know we're in overtime. Dr. Cheryl she was moving and grooving, and I didn't want to stop her because she was just rocking and rolling. Let me see. How do I get back over here? Come on, Shay, figure this thing out. All right, here we go. Add the stream. Okay, there we go. So the way this would work is that there's really four main rules. Rule number one is the value from the program. Let me give this over here. This is my notes. The value from the program must be 10 times or the cost. So there's a 10 times payoff on what they're going to receive by being there with you. Now, this is very important, very important. So I want you to imagine for a moment if you and I were just hanging out and you were there and you have $1, I have $1. I give you $1, you give me $1. It's not a whole lot of value there, right? But if you give me $1, you give me $1, and I give you $10 back, now there's some value. If you give me $1 and I give you $100 back, there's some value. If you was in Vegas right now, by the way, and we was doing that, you'd be like, I'm all in. So it's not that you're getting paid less. We've got to focus on the payoff. And for those folks that are out watching, we're doing a boot camp. If you're interested, we'll give you guys the details later. I'm going to give you some more value here where you can sit down and in the full day and be there live with myself and Dr. Cheryl Wood. And we're going to get this stuff done. Many are going to do the homework when you leave here and get your high ticket product written out. But many of you need to be in the room. You need to get your speaker one sheeter done. You need to have your story done. You need it recorded. Some of you need to do headshots. Some of you need to get your product ready to go. You're like, I need to come to boot camp and just get it done. And these are good and they're very useful. But if I was there and had the worksheets and I could just get it done and turn it in and someone could look at it, I'd move faster. We're going to do a boot camp. If that's something you're interested in, we'll send you the details. It's not something I'm offering right now, but if you're interested, you can text the word boot camp. Put that down in your notes. Text the word boot camp. Text the word boot camp to 202-270-1662. Again, 202-270-1662. When we release it, it's coming up shortly. When we release it, I think it's going to be the first of the year, but when we release it, you'll be one of the first to have an invite to the boot camp. And it's going to be a limited number of folks that can be there. But we're going to get some things done there. We're going to get our plans written. We're going to get our speaker business together, and we're going to generate some revenue because we were born to serve and make a difference for others. If that's you, just text the word boot camp right now to 202-270-1662. We'll put you on the short list. Include your first name so I know who you are. Include your last name. That's important. Include your best contact number so we can make sure that we reach out to you by email or we reach out to you by text, but you'll get it right away. And I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to truly be incredible. Number two, you must learn to clearly articulate the value you provided. Now, I mentioned at the very beginning that most folks don't make the offer because they either don't have one or they don't know how to communicate the value. And you can tell that because when they start talking about their high ticket offer, they focus on the number of videos, the Trello board. I don't know if you do that, the number of the affirmations they're going to get. They're going to have so many meetings with them. By the way, they're going to be there. So, it costs money to have them there or whatever it may be, instead of the benefits to the end user, the payoff to them. So do me a favor. I saw this exercise and I love this exercise and it's one of my favorite to do. So I want you to say this. Take your hands and do like this. Just if you're watching right now, just do your hands as wide as you can do them. I'm doing as much as I can on the screen. Let me see. Get the screen here. As wide as I can on the screen. Take your hands as wide as you can. Just like this. Yeah, this is wide. As wide as you can. And say, if the value is this big, that means it's very big. So let's go ahead and say it. It's okay. If the value is this big, then the price offer must be this big. In the prospect's mind, the person that's listening, if the value is this big, this is how we communicate, then the investment that they're doing is this big. So they're making this type of investment, no matter for $25,000, but they're seeing that this is the payoff. And the reason I say that is that most folks, and maybe it's your ideal client, but I know my ideal client, when they're betting on themselves or their business, in many cases, when it's right, in the right time, and they're qualified, there's some things there, then they're normally all in. They're not dibbling and dabbling. they're all in. And if you're listening right now, just your mindset is like, oh my gosh, where are these people at? Oh my gosh, can this work for me? I want you to know that it will work, that I believe with every fiber in my body that you can serve folks at a much higher level than you are right now. Yes, there'll be different type of clientele. Yes, there'll be individuals that might be a little different than the group you have right now. But my promise to you is that if you serve them well, you'll be into a different circle, which makes it open for you to even have more referrals and more folks pointing at you. The value has to be almost priceless. Okay. And then the third one that I want to mention, the third one that I want to mention is always remember you're not selling coaching. You're not selling coaching. And so that's very important. You're selling the results the coaching will do for them. Now, there's a lot of benefits they get. There's tangible benefits. There's 5 types of benefits that could come with that. There's tangible benefits. The results could be things they could touch. You leave here and you do your videos, you can touch those. You can see those. Some of you might say, man, I did such a good job with that story. I'm putting that on my page, right? All right. You can touch it. So there's a benefit of being here. You can touch it. When you make more sales, you go to your bank account, there's money in your bank account. Then there's the second benefit. That's an intangible benefit. The intangible benefits are things you can't touch. It's you have greater confidence. You have greater self-esteem. Some of you on your very next conversation, you have much more clarity. You have much more focus. And as a result, you get a deal done. And then there's the consequences if they don't take action. What if they don't build a house? If I have a leaky faucet and I call a plumber over and I say, hey, plumber, I've got a leaky faucet. And the plumber says, Shay, it's going to be $75. And I say, I ain't paying $75. I'm not doing that. Well, for every day the plumber's gone, I still have a leaky faucet. So there is some cost when they don't take action. For some of you, if you don't have a speaker one-sheeter, for some of you, if you don't have a title that's clear and compelling, for some of you, if your story isn't captivating, if the story doesn't grab them, then you may never get on some of the stages you really, really desire. For some of you, if you don't build your own platform, if you don't build your own stage, you may never have the impact that you were hoping to have. And then, so there's the consequence, there's tangible benefits. Got it, Shay. Put that in, someone put that down. Tangible benefits. There's intangible benefits. There's the consequence of not taking action. And then the fourth benefit is the sense of urgency. Why should they do it now? Well, I said the boot camp, for those that come in early, they're going to get a super duper deal, right? So sometimes you get a deal. Sometimes there's limited space. Sometimes you're planning your life and they're like, I'm planning this. I'm planning to be there. And rule number 4 is you must be 100% confident in the program you're going to offer. 100% confident. Because here's what we know. A confused mind rarely buys. And why do I say that? Because it may come down to the last benefit for your high value product, which is the benefit of the benefit of the benefit. And this is a little advanced for some of you. Some of you heard me say this before. You listen with new ears right now. You watch with new eyes. But let me role model. The benefit of folks working with just us as a company was they would improve their selling skills. So I'd be so excited because you work with our company, you improve your selling skills. No one wanted to improve their selling skills, by the way. The benefit of improving your selling skills, that's the second benefit, is they make more money. And I would go scream as loud as I could, make more money, make more money. Yes, we can help people make money. But that wasn't why they were investing with us. It wasn't why they were working with us. It was the benefit of the benefit of the benefit. It's a little advanced. It was what the training would do, get them money. That's the second benefit. The money wasn't what they wanted. It was the third benefit. It was what the money would do for them. The benefit of the benefit of the benefit. The money gave them peace of mind. The money gave them the freedom to work with dream clients. The money gave them the flexibility to do what Cheryl's doing today. Leave a training right now that's going on to go pick her children up from school because that's near and dear to her. For me, it was able to write a check for mother dear. Mother dear is 75 years old, and she's in okay health and everything. But we had to renovate the bathroom, make it senior proof. Renovated her kitchen. Now we have a chef. I have a chef. We're blessed to be able to do this, to have a chef. And I'm not bragging. It's not about my mom. It's about what the money would do. It allows us to have a chef go cook for her. And she's tickled pink once a week when a person comes and cooks and prepares her meal. And she's just sitting there smelling the food, and the cleaning folks come and clean. She's like, oh my gosh. She's having a great time with her life right now. And isn't that what it's all about? What you can do for other folks, as serious as that is, it's what the money will do. And I know for some of you, it's the change you're going to make for someone else. And so I say that to say that if you don't have a high ticket offer that's packaged and bundled in a way that they understand it, you're forcing them to go somewhere else. And they indeed can work with you. So why should the client do it? Well, why should you continue to get involved? Put these 4 things down in your notes, and then I'm going to help you, and then we're going to close up. I want to get into the other thing, but I know we're in super overtime, but this is what happens sometimes. Not that we're here to give and give and give. It's just that I want you to walk away when you do the homework to pick one of the areas. I hope everyone you pick. I want to do a core product, and I don't know what to call it, Shay. Call it a makeover. I mean, seriously. I mean, I'm hoping you pick any one you want on her DPO list. But I'm really hoping if you're putting your time and putting your energy in, and you don't have a high premium value offer right now. In fact, if you're out there like, say, I don't have one. I have one, but it's not selling. I need to do something with it. Here's my promise to you. I will do a high ticket product review, do an audit. I wasn't even planning on doing this. I promise you, it's just in my heart right now. I'll do it for you. I'll review it, and then I'll customize it. I'll spend some time one-on-one on the phone with you. There's no check, no credit card, none of that needed. It's just for you. If that's you, you're like, Shay, I just need a audit. I need a product audit now. Do me a favor, because our sales team will be selling it for most of you, and so might as well do an audit and get that out the way. Text the word audit. That's my number, by the way, right now. I should have put a machine on there. Text the word audit, AUDIT. Text the word audit. I'm only doing this because you're here. You're still here. You're here because you're crazy, number one. You're here because maybe you have anything else to do but hang out with me. But you want to have a high ticket product. You want that. You want it customized for you because it'll shift your business, shift your life. Text the word audit. Put product. I don't know what audit means. Product audit to 202-270-1662. Text the word product audit to 202-270-1662. Include your first name, your last name, if you haven't done that before, and your best contact number. And why am I willing to do this? Why? Because you're here. You showed up. We want to play full out. And I want you to walk away with this challenge, not only being able to speak on stages, not only be able to get paid to be gigs, but for some of you, you're going to have a highly profitable business and serve at the highest level possible. And just having a premium product, if we only sold one, I don't know if it's going to be 10 grand, it might be $10,000, it might be $5,000. I have some clients, their first premium product is $2,000, and they're excited as I don't know what when they have 5 people buy this thing at $2,000, because $10,000 on top of what they're doing now, it's a game changer. It's a game changer. One of my clients is able to do that now and be able to get bracelets for their child. And I don't want to mention that person's name, but it was, I got the call. I'm not a teary-eyed type of person always, but I had to stop. I mean, I'm going to the gym. I'm in the car. I get the call. Oh my God, I can't believe this. They were so excited. And they did their own live event and virtual in a space. I never even knew she wanted to get braces for a kid. I had no idea. And I said, well, you should do something. And we talked about it in 1997. We talked about her working with a group of folks over 8 weeks. We talked about $5,000. We talked about what she was comfortable with and what she believed that her audience, the audience that of the folks that signed up wasn't more than 50 folks. She knew 40 of them, okay? And what she thought they really needed and the results she wanted to deliver. And that's what I want you to hear. I didn't give her any fancy words to say and convince people and persuade people. That's not what selling is. So if you were to serve them and they were to walk away and they would get this type of result, how would you feel? And she did it. She was excited. And I said, okay, well, I knew this would happen and I was excited for her. But then when she told me why she did it, and then she did it for Kevin, which right now is her 13-year-old son, um, I was like, wow, you know, this is why we do these videos and this is why we do this type of stuff. And sure, we get something on the other side, obviously, but this is why I do it. This is why I get up, and I'll probably do this till I'm 80 years old or 85 for as long as I can talk and as long as I have breath in my body. And I always share what I know, even if this world changes. But to be able to do it in this space, and some of you, when you get that call and that the feeling, it's not about the feeling, but I was just like, man, I walked to that gym like, yeah, baby. Not because of me, but because I was just pumped. And I normally go to gym, some of you may know, after 9 o'clock, 9, I think that night was 10, 10, 15, 10, 30. I'm walking in there and I get that type of call, not because she made the money, I mean, 10 grand, but 10 grand, that's a lot of money for a lot of folks. But it was because we played a small piece in it. And now she has something that if she does it one time, she can do it 1,000 times. And that's a game changer. So text the word product audit. We'll sit down, we'll have a conversation. Maybe you change something, maybe you don't. Maybe you leave it like it is, but you at least walk away with something that you can use, something that you can do. So text the word product audit if that's you and you're out there right now and you're like, I just want to have my stuff looked at, to 202-270-1662. Put your first name, your last name, your best contact number. If you're watching this video and got it in the audio file or in some academy somewhere, or you got it somewhere, you got your hands on it, you can do it as well. I'm going to do it to anyone that's still here, that's still watching, that's just, there's critics out there, right? And I know they say that you don't make statues of the critics. People that says, why are you doing this? This is crazy. You're online, you're watching this stuff. Why? It may never work for you, right? They told me that for a lot of times as well. But I always say, it doesn't matter. You do it because it's in your heart. And they don't make statues of the critics. They make statues of the dreamers like you, the doers, the folks that go out there every single day and not only make a difference for other folks, but make this world better. And I say that from the bottom of my heart, that you're amazing. Every single one of you, you're incredible. And I want to give you just a couple names, and there's sales called container names for sales. And a container name in our sales world means when they hear it, they know what it is, right? So if you're doing a big ticket premium offer, you can have fancy names, and marketing folks can do that. But for some, one of the container names is a makeover. So if I was selling, how to have the right mindset and the courage to go after what you want, then I may have the mindset and courage makeover. And in this program is whatever it is, 10 grand, 5 grand, 50 grand, let's say it's 40 grand for now. They come in and you're going to either optimize what they're doing, but you're also going to look at changing it to make it better. And that considers thought, it considers time, it considers a lot of things. And so makeover for some of you might just resonate. If we had a speaker makeover and someone was already a speaker and they were really good, that means once you find out what you're going to get, one thing, what a makeover is when you hear it. I'll go over later how you can name things and stuff like that, not here. I just want to put makeover out there because some people want to know name plus this. So it could be the result plus the container name. So it could be like sales makeover, right? Business makeover. In this case, I did product audit, right? So you kind of doing something and then you have in front of it kind of what the desire is. So anyway, I'm on a rant right now, so I'm going to bring it down the home stretch. So I wasn't planning on doing all that. 1, homework assignment. Put homework assignment number 3 is take your phone out, mention the product that you're going to do, and I want you, with every fiber in my body, I want you to talk about whatever Cheryl mentioned, whatever the DPO is, your diversified product offering. You immediately say the name of it and say why you're doing it, and then tell us a story that led to it happening for my advanced students out there. What was the story that connects it to the product, and then how the person benefits. So we have something called Comeback Champion Summit. If I was talking about that, I might say, well, there was a time where the world was upside down. There was a lot going on. And a number of folks were trying to figure out during the pandemic how they were going to reverse this thing, how they were going to come back, how they were going to come back differently and stronger and better. And I was looking around for places that I could mastermind with, places I could be a part of. And I didn't see comeback champion out there, right? And I just want to come back. I wanted to be a champion. And I didn't have that distinction. And I was going through something very personal at my time. For some of you may know, and then I'm going to close with this. I had a show, which we still have, called the Happy Entrepreneur Show. And the Happy Entrepreneur Show was one of the #1 late night business development shows in the country. And that was running during the pandemic when it was at its height. And we were amazed by that. And then I got a call from my attorney. Her name is Toni Moore, one of the baddest attorneys in the world, I think, because she's out of Philadelphia. And she just let me know that there was a problem. We had filed for a trademark. We won the trademark. We were excited. And then there was a bam, bam, bam. There was an 800-pound gorilla entrepreneur. I can say their name now. Entrepreneur Magazine that came knocking at the door that said, we don't think you should own the rights to this trademark. So I found myself during the pandemic when my show was blaring and up and going at a point where they may shut it down. If it wasn't for Toni Moore fighting for it, if it wasn't for Toni Moore saying, Shay, don't give up. I was ready to give up. I'm like, I don't make money off the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Well, create another show. But not Toni. Not Toni. She said, no, it's doing some good. You're making a difference. You're changing lives. I was doing 11 o'clock at night live every night. I think we did that show for 4 years. And she said, no, we're going to fight this thing. Why did I tell you that story? One, a lot of money involved. But number two, the value that she delivered. Toni came back this year, and the good news is she got them to settle. And then they were part of the selling, and I couldn't use the name The Happy Entrepreneur Show unless I added with Shay Brown. I had to change the whole conference. And Toni Moore, in a 5-minute conversation, said, Shay, you should name your conference Comeback Champion Summit. And I said, that's the dumbest name I've heard in my freaking life. Comeback Champion Summit. That's dumb, right? I said, well, why you say that? She said, well, Shay, this morning when I got up, my car didn't start. My husband and I had to come back from that. We've got 2 boys that are in school. When something happens, we've got to come back from that. In fact, this morning I got an email from a client, took me in a whole nother direction for my morning. I got to come back from that. And so there's a number of folks out there that are doing well, but they still got to come back from little things every day. Well, 85% of my clients are women. So I said, well, Toni, if you like it, I love it. We launched that, the Comeback Champion Summit. Now, you know what it is, Comeback Champion. So that's kind of like the brand name. Summit was the container name. And we launched that. And that summit went on to help hundreds of thousands of folks online. Something we still do to this day. The reason I tell you that story is that when you do your video, because we're still back to speak and sell, okay? When you do your video, mention what you want to do. I want to write a book on helping people do blank. And then go into the story behind it, which you can go back and watch some of the last 2 that she talked about. What brings it relevant, because they're going to remember the story, to what you're doing and why you're making the offer. And just do the best you can. Don't have to get it right. You just got to get going. Someone put that down in your notes. You don't have to get it right. You just have to get going. And in doing so, you're going to make a difference for someone else. Okay? So with that being said, let me first say you are amazing. You're incredible. We close out the way I like to close out if we can. This would be fun. Never done this before. But inside of the chat or in the group, just put #BornToServe. Just put #BornToServe. When you turn in your video, put homework number 3 and put #BornToServe. I think that's going to be our hashtag. #BornToServe. You're not born to sell. You're not born to speak. You're born to serve with the gifts that you've been given, with all the training that you have, what's inside your heart. You were born to serve. But in order to serve, you've got to have support. You got to have capabilities. You've got to have tools. You got to have infrastructure around you. And I want you to create something that has this much value in your ideal audience mind, this much value, and you're able to do it. And to their mind, their price is this small because of the benefits that you have. I see Born to Serve. I see Born to Serve. Oh, the #Born to Serve folks out there. I got to talk to Cheryl. She needs to get a shirt. When are we doing a place? When are we doing the next conference? This is #Born to Serve, and we'll know who they are. We'll know who you are. With that being said, I'm out of here. If you got some value, do me a favor. Drop a number 1. Just drop a number 1. I mean, Cheryl and I we gave you some value today. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's topic is what she started getting in today, by the way, which is What are the multiple streams that you can do? How can you monetize your own stage? You build your own stage and you get paid. Well, if there's ever a time to do it, if there's ever a time to tell your story, now's that time. We're doing that through the Making of a Millionaire right now docuseries, telling the story of folks. And almost every story inside of there was a point where they had to make a decision. And because of that decision, it changed the whole trajectory of your life, of their life. And I'm telling you right now, if you make the decision and you take the action, not only will your business shift, but the people you serve will see a shift for them as well. This is your moment. This is your time. I believe in you. With that being said, my name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things. How we connect again next time. Speak and sell, but hashtag born to serve. I'm out. Peace. Thanks a lot. I see you, Jackie. Thank you, Sharonda. Thank you all who tuned in. Tomorrow. We'll try to keep it to an hour. Guys, we said we're going to keep it to an hour. And I don't know what time it is now, but it's certainly over an hour. I know that much. We out of here. Peace. See you soon. Bye-bye.